All right, all right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to those that are going to the end and that are calling on the true names of the Father in the name of the only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to those that are fighting to endure to the end. Okay. Now today, it's Memorial Day. You know, a day of where people, you know, uh, remember the fallen soldiers that fought for this country allegedly. Okay. And our people, you know, they just like to get into folly, man. They just want to have a good time, have a cookout, you know, and any excuse to, you know, have a good time. Okay. Now the scriptures tell us, you know, not to follow after the ways of the heathen. So celebrating this holiday is a pagan, you know, is a pagan holiday. Okay. Is following after the ways of the heathen, all right? Because this was not given to us from our forefathers, all right? This is something that, you know, Babylon the Great has decided to capitalize off of, you know, even either through, you know, their propaganda, you know, you got TV ad commercials saying, you know, get 50% off Memorial Day sales and things of that magnitude. So Babylon has seemed to have made a living off of our people's ignorance, okay? And still to this day. So you still have our people, you know, that have a hard time coming out of this, you know, Babylonian mindset, all right? But sooner or later, they're gonna get the picture and they're gonna see the real memorial, all right? And this is what we're gonna talk about. Babylon, a.k.a. the memorial, okay? Because this is gonna be the real memorial. While they call themselves celebrating, you know, for a war that happened where soldiers died, there's going to be a war coming to this place, you know, speaking of World War III, and we right around the corner. Okay, now we're going to get a few precepts, a few scriptures, and we're going to, you know, see how it goes. We'll see how the spirit flows with it. We're going to start off in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, and let's jump down to verse 9. This is Revelation 18 and verse 9. Give me one second. This is Revelation 18 and verse 9. And it reads, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her." This is speaking of the other nations that have lived deliciously with her, meaning Babylon, because a lot of these other nations, they are in bed with Babylon through their trades, their imports, their exports. You know, they have a lot of products coming and going from out of Babylon. It says, verse 9, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning." Right, and make no mistake about it, this place is going to be a memorial of what not to do, okay? Because this place will no longer be inhabited by, you know, human beings, okay? It's only going to be inhabited by, you know, those desert and foul birds, okay? Now it says in it says, "And lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning." Right, and this is going to be, you know, globally publicized. Okay, the fall of Babylon will be globally publicized throughout all the nations, throughout all the kingdoms. Okay, and the kings, they're going to mourn. Okay, they're going to be like, man, I would have never thought to see this day. Okay, verse 10 says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Right. And they're going to be, they're going to be mocking this place. All right. Because for the longest, Babylon has been that golden cup that have made nations mad. All right. So when they see, this place, you know, go up in smokes, they're going to be saying, what? Let's read it one more time. It says, standing afar off, Revelation 18 and 10, for the fear of her torment, because she's going to get it, man. Okay. They're going to open up their armory and they're going to let those, missiles fly, man. This place is going to fall within 1 hour. It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, which is America, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And it ain't going to take long for this place to fall, okay? This place is going to fall in 1 hour. Think about the amount of missiles that the Most High got preserved for this place, man. Hey, it tells us, let everyone that be in the boat, you know, aim your arrows at Babylon and don't hold back, okay? So all your missiles that you have in your asylums, let it go, okay? This place is going to be utterly destroyed. It's going to be a true memorial, okay? See, you got Memorial Day that this man puts, in front of you to capitalize off your ignorance, and then you're going to have this as a memorial that, this is what happens to you, man, speaking primarily to the other nations. This is what happened to you when you go up against the Most High, you rebel against him, okay? This is going to be for a memorial for the other nations to look at when they, have an idea of going off. Okay, they're going to be reminded of Babylon, all right? It's going to be a spectacle, man. Okay, it's going to be something to behold, all right? In the same time, it's going to be something to be fearful, because you're going to know that the Most High did this, all right? Through his servants prophesying it right now, he's setting the stage and getting ready for it. So it says, 11, Revelation 18:11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Right. And they're going to weep and mourn because, for the longest, they have lived deliciously off of her, because for the most part, Babylon the Great is a consumer debt-based society. At one time, it was producing some type of goods, back in the industrial age, where they actually made something, okay? But now, through Babylon the Great, you have these TikTokers, these YouTubes, Babylon, which is America, spiritually, America, which is spiritually Babylon, it no longer produces anything anymore, okay? It just consumes, all right? And that's why these other nations are going to lament and mourn for her, because they're not going to be able to sell Babylon anything else, okay? Now it says, 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Right, they're not going to be able to buy or sell or anything in that magnitude once Babylon is completely wiped off the face of this map, off the face of the earth. It says, verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble. Okay? And Babylon, which is America in the spirit, America, which is Babylon in the spirit, it engages in all that, fine wine, fine linen, marble, gold. It buys a lot of these items from other countries. Okay, And the other countries are going to lament because they're not going to be able to sell these items to America no more. Okay, and it says verse 13, Revelation 18 and 13, continuing on the items that America, which is Babylon the Great, consumes in cinnamon, in odors, in ointments, in frankincense, in wine, in oil, in fine flour, in wheat, in beasts, in sheep, in horses, in chariots, in slaves, in souls of men. So America, which is Babylon the Great, it has indulged in all of these, items that we have listed in one way or another. For the most part, it has bought most of these items from other nations, yes, including slaves, okay? Because we were bought over here from other nations, all right? America isn't the only other nation that, was selling slaves, okay? So it says, verse 14, and the fruits that thy soul lust after and departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. So the other nations, they're not going to find any other items to sell to Babylon the Great or for Babylon the Great to buy from them, because this place is going up in smokes. Okay, this is the true memorial. It's hard to imagine that right now because seemingly it looks like a fine day outside. It's a little hot, but you look outside, you go outside, you don't see how this place can fall. Okay, you don't see as much commerce that's coming and going out of Babylon that it can ever be taken down. Okay, but that's the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. He's going to bring this place down in an hour. Okay, so he has judgment set aside just for this place, which is Babylon the Great, and it's going to be a memorial for the rest of the nations. Okay, verse 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her. And that's how they were made rich, okay? Because you have a lot of these other countries that, were almost in a third world type of atmosphere, but through the, selling of these merchants, this merchandise to Babylon, it has allowed them to maintain their status, okay? Primarily, places like London and England, okay, which is the financial center, the financial capital, okay, of this beast system. So, amongst other nations, they have upped their game to the point that they have well exceeded their wealth, by selling these things to Babylon the Great. Now, in counter, Babylon does put sanctions on some of these countries, okay? But for the most part, Babylon, which is America, is willing to will and deal with any country out there, all right? Because Babylon is all about making a dollar, man. So it'll buy wholesale in a heartbeat, all right? And for the most part, the world reserve currency for like the last few decades has been the U.S. dollar. All right. So these other countries, that's pegged in the dollar, they have gotten to a certain degree wealthy and rich off of their trade, their trading with America. But once this place is taken down, they're not going to be able to, trade anymore. Okay. They're going to have to trade between their own currency, which is why you're seeing the advent of that BRICS currency. Okay, preparing for that. All right, so everything is working in tandem. Going along with the word what the Most High has put out there. So everything is coming along smoothly. So it says, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. And they're going to get the picture in those days, okay? When that day comes to pass, they're going to get the picture, okay? This place was taken down for his iniquity, okay? Because at one point, we were made rich, and this was a nation that was, mighty in stature. It was looked upon, as a place to be feared. Okay, they dropped atom bombs on other countries. In other countries they were fearful of Babylon the Great. All right, but now in its weakest stage, because Babylon, which is America, is weak right now. Okay, from its military to its finances, to its allegedly so-called religion. All these facets of the society is failing. Okay, it says 16, Revelation 18 and 16 is saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, in purple, and scarlet, and decked with gold, and precious stones, and pearls. Yeah, because other nations look at America, as a beacon of light, as a symbol of what you can be. Okay, you know, America seems like, from the outside looking in, I can only surmise that, everything is running according to plan. Everything is running on all cylinders. Okay, but that could be far from the truth, man. This place is imploding from within. So this is going to be that memorial, for other nations to remember. Okay, so it says, verse 17, Revelation 18 and 17. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off. Right, so this thing is going to be publicized, televised, man. This is going to be a sight for the seeing. Okay, other countries, those that trade in embargo, those that trade, just a regular everyday uh, run of the mill individual who got a smartphone, they're going to see it. Okay, everybody's going to see Babylon the Great take that fall, man. It's going to be televised. It says, verse 18, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Right. They're gonna be like, what city? Because there has never been a city this great, this magnificent. Okay, from its military might all the way down to its ability to what you know have innovations. A lot of things came from out of Babylon. Okay, and the other nations are gonna be like, what city is this? This great city. Okay, is falling, and they're gonna know that the true power, whose name is Yahweh, is doing this. Is not only doing this, but is allowing it to happen. It says, verse 18, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her coastline. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Right. So, the other nations, they were made to a degree rich, but Babylon was really made rich from, her coastlines, from her importing all these other uh, items that we read earlier, into the country. Okay. Because Babylon, you know, America, which is Babylon, they buy these other items from these other countries real cheap, and then they, sell them over here expensive. Okay, just look at a pair of Jordans. Okay, what do you think that costs to make, in China? Maybe $1 or two. Then with the embargo to ship them over here, you know, probably $20 a pair of shoes, and then they turn around and flip them over here for like 150, 220. Okay, like making 100 times their money. All right. So Babylon, it buys from these other nations and allows them to trade in the dollar, but it also, it it makes a killing off of the items that it brings in from the people within the Egyptians, because the Egyptians is the major consumer. Okay, Babylon is just the system, but the people, which are the Egyptians, they are the consumer. They are the bloodline of this beast system. Okay, now it says verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, at last, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her coastlines. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. And that judgment is not going to play, man. You know, you two-thirds Jakes, man, y'all going to get it. And the rest of you heathen nations, y'all going to get it, man. All right, but the one-third, the elect, we going to be delivered. We pray that we are of that number. Verse 20 says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. Right, and that goes into Joel 3 as well. He's going to, avenge us on these other nations as well in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Where World War III is going to take place. All right, so we are rejoicing in the fact that this place is going to be taken down by Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, we are rejoicing and we are waiting for that day. Okay, that's why we continually to watch. So it says, verse 20, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her. Right. He's going to bring vengeance to this place. Okay, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. All right, so this place will be, you know, avenged for all the wickedness and iniquity it has done. Verse 21, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Okay? There's not going to be anybody else on these, what you would call right now, American soil. Okay? This place is going to be taken down with great wrath. Let's read that again. Revelation 18 and 21. And it reads, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence. So this place is gonna fall with violence, man. Imagine how terrifying that's going to be if you're not of the elect. Okay, for the average person that's just walking around unaware of what's going on and what's getting ready to come down, it's going to be exceedingly, I don't even know how to put it into words, man. It's going to be exceedingly, terrible for them in that day. So it says, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence that great city Babylon, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Right. So this place is going to be a memorial. There's not going to be any more life, on this land. Okay. 22. And the voice of the harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. All your musicians, your entertainers, all that made Babylon, rich, they ain't gonna be found no more in her. Okay, it's all coming to an end. That's why I said it's presumably you walk outside and you think to yourself, that'll never happen. Okay, that's the mindset of the two-thirds and the rest of the heathens. It'll never happen. It'll never take place in my lifetime. Okay, not knowing that their lifetime is the time that is going to take place in these last days. 22, and the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. So whether you got a YouTube channel with a large, fan base, whether you make furniture, whatever craft you got is going to be out the door once Babylon the Great falls. There's not going to be anything that you're going to take over from this side into the kingdom. Okay, it's all going to get left behind here in Babylon the Great, which is America. So it says, "And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee." Right, because all that grinding that you hear, that bustle, you know, especially in Wall Street, the bustle, the heartbeat of America, all that's going to come to a cease. All that grind is going to come to a cease. The factories are going to be shut down. Restaurants are going to be closed. Everything's going to stop. Okay, everything's going to be, because it tells us that in Second Peter 3, it says that with that fervent heat is going to melt all the elements. So everything is going to be taken out. Okay, there's not going to be nothing left here, after that great destruction. All right. So it says, "And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee." So there ain't gonna be no more, you know, noise, no more sound of uh, commerce, you know, being exchanged between, whoever and whatever here in Babylon the Great anymore. Okay? It says, "And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee." Verse 23, "And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee." Right, so the lights are going off in this place, man. This place is going to be completely, burned. Okay? There's no more light. There's not going to be any more light to shine in this place. Okay? All your, busy metropolitan areas, that got those, skyscrapers and what have you, all that's getting, put away. Okay? All that's going to get taken out. All right? 23. "And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee." Right? Because we're going to be taken up in those chariots, man, with Yahweh and the angels. All right? So you ain't going to hear us prophesying anymore, telling you that you need to repent before it's too late while you still have time. No, in those days, you're going to be on your own. Okay? You're going to have to get that full brunt of feeling the torment of Babylon the Great being burned. So it says, "Shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived." Right. And it goes into Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, the 7th verse. It says that all the other nations had drunken up their cup and had become mad. You know, so through Babylon's sorceries, it has deceived many nations, man. That's why they are waiting for this place to fall, okay? And when they see it, it's going to be a sight to behold, okay? It says, "For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived." Verse 21, verse 24, Revelation 18 and 24. And it says, "In her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth." Right, because we're gonna have those that have to be martyrs for the truth, for the witness of Yahweh. Okay, so that's why the Most High is going to erase this place off the face of the earth. All right, because why? He's going to avenge the apostles. He's going to avenge the saints, the prophets, you know, and the rest of the 1/3, the innumerable number. Okay, so it says, "In her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that was slain upon the earth." Right. So this place is going to be a reminder and a memorial for what comes against you when you come up against the Most High. All right. So while our people are out there celebrating Memorial Day, frying up, firing up the grill, cooking a hamburger, a hot dog, You know, probably got some ribs on the grill. You know, our people, you know, they just like following this, man. We out here telling them what's going on and what's getting ready to go down, and they still stuck in their ways. You know, I can almost 100% assure you that somewhere across America, there's a slab of ribs on somebody's grill right now. And I'm speaking of a Jake, just grilling his ass off, man, with a slab of pork barbecue ribs, man. Got to, you know? And that's why they got to get taken out, man, because they don't fear the Most High, okay? So he's gonna get his respect. He's gonna get his respect and gain his fear, and get his name known back in this throughout this whole earth, throughout this whole land, through Babylon. When Babylon fall, they gonna know what's up then, okay? But it's gonna be too late by then. All right. So this was you know a a lesson on the real memorial. Okay. The real memorial is going to be America, a.k.a. Babylon. All right. And it's going to be a memorial for what happens to you when you come up against the word of the Most High, when you come up against the Most High. And let's look up that word memorial. I think I wrote it down. It says memorial, something, especially a structure established to remind people of a person or event. And America is going to be a structure to remind people of an event that took place when you come up against the Most High. You other nations, okay? You ain't coming up against the Most High in the kingdom, all right? This is going to be your reminder what happens when you think about that, okay? So this is the true memorial, okay? That the people should be, you know, more in tune with than some Memorial Day holiday, okay? Because there's nothing that's going to get you out of this judgment that's coming by firing up the grill and throwing on a slab of pork ribs, man. Other than you're gonna get, you know, your just due if you don't repent. All right. So that's about it. You know, we're gonna wrap it up. You know, gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. All right. Shalom to the elect, those that are fighting to endure to the end. I say shalom.